friends. Yep, Doc South. Another day, another video. I I gotta say, I've been watching this Bernie Sanders meme. Is it going through taking the internet by storm? And I gotta say, I'm rather tickled with them. It's besides being a source of amusement for people. From what I hear now, it's also helping out a charity, um, Meals on Wheels, evidently, right? Yeah, senior Meals on Wheels. This, from what I gather now, you can buy. I guess Bernie must have the rights to the meme or the photograph of him sitting there at the inauguration out there in the cold uh, with his mittens on, and evidently, I guess if people want to make sweatshirts or sweaters or hats, I guess about this with the meme on it. Evidently, Bernie gets a portion of the proceeds one way or another, and he's pretty much put it out that all that's going to go to charity. It's going to help Meals on Wheels, which is a great organization of people who do a very good job of keeping seniors, homebound seniors, fed, plus checking up on them once a day, which is actually almost as important as the Meals on Wheels. You know, a lot of seniors, when if they are by themselves and come down with the COVID, they're probably not going to make it. And to have someone come by with the meals, knock on the door, walk in, here's your meal. Hi, Mrs. Smith, here's your meals. Oh, and Mrs. Smith all of a sudden lets it be known she hasn't been feeling too well since morning. Well, that volunteer knows to get some help for the person, Mrs. Smith or that old guy down the hallway. I mean, you get right down to it. This is an extreme win-win-win-win-win situation. People are actually smiling about politics. The sweaters are employing some people. The money's going to a bunch of it's going to charity, and people are getting fed. Doggone, this is fantastic. We got to do more of this. You get right down to it. Uh, and I like the idea that I think you're hearing that um, conservatives are thinking it's a good idea, and the liberals too. Well, how can you go wrong? Honestly, I'm beginning to think everybody's just got to put on their big boy pants and go meet with the opposition and hash things out. It can be done. It can be done, and what a great thing for our country if it were. Instead, everybody arguing back and forth, and oh God, it's shutting down this, closing that, making a mess over here and a bigger mess over there, uh, blaming each other for one thing or another. It'd be so much better if people just said, I like your idea. Uh, Bernie, it's a good idea. Let's do it. Or Donald, not a bad idea. I gotta say, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, just back and forth and take care of it. And frankly, probably a totally conservative way to solve a problem or a totally liberal way to solve a problem isn't probably the way to work it. It's got to be somewhere in the middle, I would think. Anyway, I'm just saying this is fantastic. I I I gotta say, I gotta say. And the thing is there's so many charities that under with circumstances, if some other circumstance comes up, I mean, Meals on Wheels, let's get them their food with this with the purchase of these sweaters. But when something else comes up, I mean, I know of a group. I assume they're still operating, where, and if not them, there's must be others that go out and find homeless veterans. As cold as today was, there's probably people in the woods, homeless veterans, who have maybe an encampment somewhere, and they're in the cold, and they just can't. They're homeless, and there's not much they can do about it. They just for one reason or another can't be part of the home scene, and that's awful. They need help too. I mean, there's so many people that frankly uh, need to be helped out, and there's gobs of volunteers. I would think are a potential for volunteers all over the place to help these people. I think, I remember it was about a month ago. I ran into a paramedic where I work at a local supermarket, and he was whooped. Man, he was run through the ringer, and I wasn't up to the point of being a paramedic, but I was closing in on it, and back in the day, and I know what he's going through. You know, I could see, man, he was just whooped, and he probably had a bad night with people being way too ill and too many of them, and it can get rough. But imagine if there was not necessarily a corps of EMTs or paramedics, but someone who could ride along, who could, you know, if the paramedic said, "Look, go get me the backboard. This guy has a backboard in a back injury. Let's get the backboard, bring it up here, and three straps." And you know, a guy could. You don't have to be a EMT or anything to know about that. You just run down, get the backboard, the straps, and up you go. And you could help with the lifting. Uh, wouldn't that be wouldn't that be great? In other words, an assistant could ride along and back, you know, and it, but perhaps there's such people would need. Well, they could probably be volunteers, but they could also be um, and maybe paid a little for what they do. And some charity, some way, there would have to be a way to raise some money for such a core of assistants, and maybe the paramedics wouldn't be so worn out by the end of the day, end of the night. And you see what I'm saying? There's if we really put our brains to it, there's millions of things we could improve upon, and it would be. I think we'd all be the better for it. Anyway, I got to say I like what I'm seeing about that sweatshirt. That's I hope the sales are good and meals Meals on Wheels gets themselves a nice bucket of money, a good shot in the arm. Huh? There you go. Anyway, I'm just saying, fantastic, fantastic to see this, and we need more of it. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye bye.